It took me a while to react on the end. My first reaction was very emotional and I loved all characters' awakenings, but also felt genuine disappointment from the meaning of the flesh sideways. However, as I started the rewatch of former seasons, I understand the large themes of the show better and start appreciating the way the end addressed them. I know many people didn't get that, so I'll say it. Only season 6 flash sideways was purgatory. They didn't all die in the crash. The island was real.
Yeah, I'm real. You're real. Everything that's ever happened to you is real. All those people in the church, they're all real too.
This means whatever happened, happened, and Jughead was always the incident. I don't believe in a purgatory concept, but I understand the creator's choice to trick us with our own older failed theories. What was genius about Lost is that it always contained a few levers of interpretations. For example, the bright light was pure energy, both scientific electromagnetic matter and a mythic representation of the initial light of creation. The sideways resolution failed me only because it collapsed into Christian spiritualism with no open ends for other frames. And despite their attempt to include all faiths, it was too churchy for me. But otherwise, I love the fact that the series was initially about redemption through letting go of what you know in order to allow change, and doing so together with the people you love. So the end of Lost couldn't have been different. They lived together and therefore died together. I believe Rose and Bernard, the only people who learned to let go while still alive, were the only ones who knew they were dead to begin with in the flesh sideways.
It's okay, you can let go.
And it makes sense all our losties were curious to explore that what if the plane didn't crash. Only for Rose and Bernard, it was the same, no matter where they were. I'm just curious why Eloise was awake, despite the fact she wasn't at all ready to let go of her son.
Are you going to take my son?
My favorite awakening was Juliet and Sawyer's.
It worked.
Turns out what worked was the vending machine, not Jughead. And by the way, I'm very happy with Saeed and Shannon. There isn't just one love in our lives, and Saeed didn't really feel worthy of Nadia. Shannon was someone he could take and let her love him without guilt, because she was flawed too. I'm truly fine with that. I also love the fact that eventually nobody really knew too much about the island, and that's why we fans would never know everything too. The message I got from Lost is that there are rules, but we can choose to change them when we realize we're in a position to do so.
I chose to ignore you.
Man in Black made up the rules of the ancient game board. Jacob made up the rules of running the island and candidates. And in this episode, Jack made up his rules of engagement. He chose his destiny because he didn't have to die. Desmond would have put it back without dying, and it would have been just a 5 minutes delay on his way back to Penny. Jack needed to be the ultimate fixer of things. It's either that or the end of Lost just had to be with his closing eye. And you know what? I'm not even sure Jack or Hurley got any real special powers from that water.
Is that it?
Feel any different? Not really.
You just need to believe that you're in charge in order to gather the guts to make your own luck and set your own rules.
Now you're like me.
The island is an almost alive character, and it will align itself with your rules like a dog becomes faithful to a confident master. And if you stay on it long enough, the electromagnetic power will rub on you, and that's all there is to it.
I think you do what you do best. Take care of people.
It was fitting to leave the island with the most humble and good-hearted candidate.
That's how Jacob ran things. Maybe there's another way. A better way.
I wouldn't be surprised if he made the island more accessible and they'd get visited by their friends from mainland in their vacations. I've started a rewatch to be able to fill my own holes in the story. Please subscribe to my channel, since in the next few months after rewatch, I intend to share my answers for unanswered questions, and I still got to edit my last location visits in Hawaii, so it's not over. It's just the end. See you in another life or podcast.
We'll see you there.
What the hell is that?